Hi everyone, it's Paralysed here. This is the last video in my series of 6 to tell you a little bit more about my book Raw, How to Tame the Bully Inside and Out. But before I start, I would just like to say another massive thank you to everyone who supported my book launch last week. And if you missed the news, I'm very excited to let you know that I managed to get my Amazon #1 bestseller. So thank you very much. I would not have been able to do this without my amazing network, without each and every one of you. And as a token of my appreciation, I will be running a free Spot the Bully masterclass on Saturday, the 22nd of February, at 12 o'clock. So it will be in the UK time zone, so GMT, and yeah, it's available. If you bought a copy of the book last week, you can register on the masterclass for free. This masterclass will help you spot the bully in your life by looking at the toxic trio, so the bully, the victim, and the organizational culture. As I said before, you know, a bully cannot bully without a victim and a culture that allows the bullying to happen in the first place. So this is all about my mission to shine a spotlight on what I call a silent epidemic, and to help you find the inner strength and the courage to speak up, to find your raw, to say enough is enough. You know, I'm not gonna take this anymore. So it's all about helping you recognize, first of all, the signs, but then also to give you the confidence and the courage to speak up. This masterclass is to show you what it is going to take to live your best life, to build that life that we all deserve. And it will really be important that you take away some tangible action steps from it. So I will challenge you to take 3 steps, no matter how big or small, from this to move the needle towards living your best life. There will also be an opportunity for questions and answers at the end, so you can ask me any questions that you have. So let's get back to the key topic of today's training. For those of you who saw the previous video, you will know that RAW is not just the title of my book, it is also a 4-step process for dealing with difficult conversations. So recognize, observe, assert or ask, and then redirect. So let's delve into these 4 steps in a bit more detail. So recognize the bullying behavior. This is all about observing and staying present. This is all about, you know, going in with that mindset of I'm okay, you're okay, to engage with that individual on a sort of an equal footing. You know, you're holding on to your power, but you're also giving that individual the benefit of the doubt. Then you observe, you know, you maintain eye contact. It's really hard when you feel like you're being attacked to maintain eye contact, to stay calm, because you're shocked, right? You don't expect someone to behave like that. So it's really hard to stay calm, to stay present, to maintain eye contact, but it is absolutely paramount. So that's kind of all the inner game stuff. The first, so the recognizing the behavior and observing and staying present is all about what's going on inside your mind, you know. And then the second 2, or the final 2 steps is all about then the actual verbal piece. So assert, you know, stating the impact, or asking, you know, please help me understand, how is this helping us move forward? So by communicating, you're clarifying, you're asking, you're asserting, but you really should be careful not to throw fuel on the fire. So the way that you phrase your questions, it is really about, you know, being non-accusatory. Again, you know, just being very, very polite and honestly just asking the individual to help you understand, or to asserting kind of the situation in terms of how it makes you feel. And then finally, we've got redirect. So redirecting the conversation. So it's very important that we move away from ego. So we shouldn't use language like I and me and you, but really move the language to we and us, so that it's a lot more inclusive, and it helps that we can sort of steer clear from the egos, and really what we want to achieve, we want to get to that outcome, you know. So let's move the conversation, let's redirect the conversation towards mutual outcomes. You know, it's so important to recognize that, you know, in a work environment, we're all working towards some goals, hopefully some common goals. So if we can take the conversation away from the individuals to actually what we're trying to achieve, I think it naturally gets more productive, it gets less accusatory, but it's really, really important that we sort of move, as I say, towards that outcome-based conversation. One final thing I wanted to pick up on today is this notion of not only is workplace bullying a silent epidemic, it's also a silent killer. I spent most of the weekend in shock after the news of Caroline Flack's suicide, and couldn't help but wonder how much life in the public eye, social media pressures, cyberbullying has contributed to her decision to end her life. Can you imagine how desperate someone must be to be so in such a dark place, to make that decision that they cannot actually move forwards? I wanted to talk about it today because I write about this in my book. I've built some case studies now where there have been suicides reported as a direct result of a toxic workplace culture. And I will be talking more about some of these case studies on Saturday in my masterclass. But really what was very worrying for me is when I interviewed people, when I did my research for the book, you know, a lot of people confessed to having suicidal thoughts. And it was really close to home because I was there not too long ago. The main thing for me, the most shocking thing for me was actually that a couple of people also confessed to failed suicide attempts. So this is such a real issue, and so important that we now more than ever call this out, you know, that we put the spotlight on this silent epidemic that is called workplace bullying, and that we help people. People are suffering in silence, and it's having devastating consequences. And that just, you know, again, reinforces this mission I have to bring more kindness into the workplace, you know, in a world where we can be anything, you know. It's important, let's just be kind, you know, to one another. And kindness is a choice, you know. If you have the choice between being right or being kind, choose kindness. It costs you nothing, but at the end of the day, you might actually save someone's life, and that's how real it is. And so I wanted to leave you with that thought today, because it's just so heartbreaking, the news, the recent news, and it just reminded me that this is such a real and potentially devastating issue, and we all need to hear this, and we all need to be more kind to one another. We need to think twice. We need to take that moment to reflect and to consider the impact of our actions on others. So I leave you with that thought for today. If you found this insightful, if you feel like you want to talk to me, if you have any feedback, do reach out. I always love to hear from you, whether it's in a comment down below or whether it's in a private message, please do feel free to reach out. I love to hear from you. And yeah, join me on Saturday. I'd love to spend some time with you on Saturday to delve deeper into this issue and to equip you with the skills to be able to find that, as I say, that inner confidence and that courage to speak up, to find your raw. Have a great rest of the day, everybody, and I'll speak to you soon. Take care now. Bye.